Hey, good morning, folks. Last night, I finished my first project for the Aurora Models Group Build, the Fokker D.VIII, originally known as the Fokker E.V. Now, this kit came out from Aurora as part of their World War I aircraft series or airplane series. This one was in the second release and it came out in 1960. Originally, it was in bright green plastic. I actually had this kit, which I bought either in 65 or 66. It went together, I remember it going together very easily, probably even more easily than this time around, although certainly with probably some enormous smears of glue and fingerprints on the various unpainted surfaces. There are only 30 pieces in this kit, and almost all of this is original. I did replace the propeller, which was definitely not a Fokker D.VIII propeller in the kit, with a replacement part. I did not replace the wing, which comes out of the Aurora Design Studio. That is not a D.VIII wing, but it looks okay. And if I had changed the wing with something better, much better, say from the Edard kit, it really wouldn't have looked like an Aurora model. I think this captures it. I did have to use aftermarket decals. I did not, this second time around, have an original issue box. I got the Aurora Divisions, K and B Divisions release, which came out, the Collector Series, in 1972. That was in light gray plastic. It had a vacuform base or pseudo landscape, which is sitting upstairs. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same kit, just different colored plastic and a base. And I think one less figure, and I didn't use the figures anyway. Now, these decals dating from 1972 were completely shot. So I did use the Edard decals. They actually are from a kit that's, I looked at the date on the decals, 2005, so they were 20 years old. No problems with the lozenge decals, which are on the fuselage, top and underside, but the crosses and everything else were extremely fragile, but I managed to get them on. 30 pieces or so. The only replacements, as I said, the prop. And I did replace the machine guns. I originally had some PE machine guns on their Spandaus. They didn't survive my manhandling. The darn little cross sights bent and broke. My thick thumbs hit them once too often. So I grabbed a pair of plastic Spandaus from the stash box and used them. They had a slightly better shape. Definitely better shape than what came in the box. And I used a resin pilot figure. I did scratch build an interior for this plane, which you can't see now, of course, but that's okay. Yeah, I had more difficulty attaching something that is usually not a big issue, which was getting the landing gear in, and that my mistake there was, I don't know why, thinking I should attach the struts to the bottom wing or cross piece there with cement, with model cement rather than CA glue. And after those started wobbling, I realized my mistake. That wasn't a wise idea, and I used the flexible CA glue and solved that. Some of the construction is a little chunky, but it definitely is Aurora in the truest sense. I did use oil paint for streaking the wings, top and bottom. I'll flip it over here so you can see. The bottom is quite bold, alternating blue and magenta. Apparently that was the color scheme that most of the people think. I don't think there are obviously any color photographs from the period, but that's what it was reported to be, at least on some of these planes. Of course, this plane had a very abbreviated service record during the war. About 200 some plus were delivered to the German Stoffels in August, but within a couple of days there'd been some fatal accidents due to the wings disintegrating due to faulty construction at the factory. Something that happened more than once in the history of Fokker and its some of the other factories that subcontracted for Fokker. The planes were pulled out of service to get the wings fixed, the design or the construction process amended, and planes did not return to the Stoffels until just a week or so before the end of hostilities. The plane was used by Polish Air Force, and there was even a mention that some Freikorps units in Germany had a couple of these planes after the war. But it's a slick little plane, a lovely little kit, and this is actually my third go-around with an Aurora D.VIII, so you'd think I'd be getting the hang of it by now. And I've also built the Edard kit, and now have a spare Edard kit, San decals, that maybe I'll build it sometime. Anyway, here it is, and thanks for watching.